In everyday life, French people tend to speak really fast and they won't hesitate to remove a letter, half a word even, if it slows them down. That's why je ne sais pas, for I don't know in French, is very often replaced by je sais pas. We drop the ne in je sais pas, and it is a very, very common thing that we do in French. So, when can you use it? How do you use it? Can you use it in writing, and what are the rules? This is what we are going to see together today. Bonjour, I'm Géraldine, your French teacher. Welcome to Comme une Française. Today, like every Tuesday, I'm here to help you get better at speaking and understanding everyday modern French. In French, we make the negative by adding ne and pas around the verb. Ne and pas. Let's use this giraffe as an example. Je tiens cette girafe. Je tiens cette girafe. I am holding this giraffe. Je tiens cette girafe. If we want to say the opposite, je ne tiens pas cette girafe. We add the ne and the pas around the verb tiens. Je ne tiens pas cette girafe. I am not holding this giraffe. Sorry. In spoken French, we very often remove the ne here. We wouldn't say je ne tiens pas cette girafe. We would say je tiens pas cette girafe. Je tiens pas cette girafe. Sorry again. And it's very common in French. It's not rude or overly familiar. You can use it whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 or more. It's really up to you. You can even use it in writing as well, especially because now the spoken language becomes the written language in everyday life. I would say you should not use it in exams, in business papers, official papers, but otherwise just go for it. However, you might still hit some difficulties with dropping the ne, especially when you're listening to it and you don't really know whether it's pronounced or not. The first difficulty is with the apostrophe, l'apostrophe in French. It's especially about je and ne, because je and ne are going to lose their i, le e in French, in front of a vowel. For example, je plus vowel becomes j apostrophe plus a vowel, and the same for ne. The ne of the negation becomes n apostrophe in French in front of a vowel. For example, je n'aime pas les bananes. Je n'aime pas les bananes. I don't like bananas, and that's true. Je n'aime pas les bananes. If we remove the negation that you can already see here has no e at the end of ne, what does it do? It does j'aime pas les bananes. J'aime pas les bananes. So the vowel at the beginning of M goes in front of the je and then the e disappears and it makes j'aime pas les bananes. You might wonder if removing the ne also applies to other types of negation, and the answer is yes. For example, it works with plus, which is anymore, ne plus, not anymore. Je ne sais plus quel jour on est, for example. Je ne sais plus quel jour on est because of all these weird times. I don't know what day we are anymore. Je sais plus quel jour on est in everyday modern French. Je sais plus quel jour on est. You remove the ne at the beginning. And yes, you can use this with plus. It also works with jamais, never. Ne jamais is the negation for never. Yes, we need two words in French to translate never. For example, je ne suis jamais allé en Normandie. You can do la liaison and say je ne suis jamais allé en Normandie. I never went to Normandie, which could be your case. Becomes je suis jamais allé en Normandie. Je suis jamais allé en Normandie. And as you can see here, we drop the ne in this sentence with ne and jamais as a translation for never. If you like to listen to everyday French, we speak fast. And when we speak fast, we often like mix up sounds, and this makes everything so much better for students like you. For example, sais pas is the way that we would say je ne sais pas. So je ne sais pas becomes je sais pas, and in everyday modern French, in the fast way, we'd say sais pas or je sais pas. This is very subtle. It's fine if you don't hear it, but that's how we would say it. It is a little bit more informal than saying je sais pas, but honestly, I would say anyone can say it. And it's something that you hear with y a pas as well, for il y a pas or il n'y a pas. Again, we take the normal sentence of il n'y a pas, there isn't. We remove the ne, it becomes il y a pas, and when we say it, it becomes y a pas. Yapa. And this is very useful to know when you want to improve your listening skills of French, because we speak really fast. This is something you might hear in y a pas de souci, for example. Y a pas de souci for il y a pas de souci or il n'y a pas de souci. There's no problem. Y a pas de souci. Finally, there's one last trick that I want to mention today. It is how difficult it can be to know if there is a ne or not when you're listening to fast spoken French. Okay, breathe, and we're going to go through this together. For example, tu n'es pas allé au ciné depuis janvier. Tu n'es pas allé au ciné depuis janvier, which is with la liaison. Tu n'es pas allé au ciné depuis janvier. You haven't been to the cinema since January, which is probably your case, it is mine. When we remove the ne, it becomes tu es pas allé au ciné depuis janvier. Tu es pas allé au ciné depuis janvier. When I say it fast, which is the normal way, tu es pas allé au ciné depuis janvier, it can be difficult to notice if there is a ne or not. But that's the easy part. Let's take another example to go a little bit beyond that. On n'a pas mangé depuis ce matin. On n'a pas mangé depuis ce matin. We haven't eaten this since this morning. On n'a pas mangé depuis ce matin. If we remove the ne, which is just an apostrophe here because the e was removed, it becomes on n'a pas mangé depuis ce matin. On n'a pas mangé depuis ce matin. And here, because of la liaison with on, you cannot say if there is a ne or not because they sound exactly the same. La liaison makes the ne removal completely transparent. You cannot see, you cannot hear actually, if there is a ne or not, and that is tricky because of la liaison. That's why knowing the rules of la liaison is important. Let's take one last example. Julien n'a plus de place chez lui. Julien n'a plus de place chez lui. Julien doesn't have any space at his home anymore. How would you read this sentence without the ne? Can you guess? Well, first there is no N sound because la liaison says that you should not do a liaison with the first name. Julien a plus de place chez lui. We don't do la liaison. Julien a plus de place chez lui. Okay? But how would you read that without any context? Well, the thing is, the S at the end of plus is going to tell you whether it's more or not anymore. And this is very, very, very important when you want to speak everyday modern French or when you're listening to it. So this is the last ambiguity here in this example. Should you say plus or plus? It will depend on the context. So I prepared a playlist especially for you on these two topics. La liaison, the rules about it, how you understand it, how you can use it, and whether you should say the S at the end of plus. I will see you in this lesson. In the next one, I made a playlist for you. You only have to click on the screen right there. And I'll see you in the next lesson. See you there.